guys, and welcome back and welcome to another video where today you join me with an Audi TT RS, because if some of you saw a video a couple of days ago, I was driving a BMW M2. I was driving this car because I've started my hunt to find the replacement for my Mercedes A45, a car I've owned for roughly 18 months. I've loved it. So my next daily, I want it just to be fun, practical, fast, everything. I want it to tick all the boxes, and I don't just want to drive cars constantly and do all these test drive videos. I want to narrow my search right down. So what has happened is Audi have kindly lent me their new TT RS. It looks pretty cool, doesn't it, in that colour? It stands out massively. I love the presence of these cars. I think they look very, very cool. And I've never actually got the chance to spend some proper time with one. But this car, I have it for a week. So I'm just gonna get a full feel of what it's like to live with a TT RS. Every angle I look at it, I'm sort of like, yeah, it does look cool. But when we look at it from the front, it looks good. But then when we look at it from the back as well, people think these cars are like hairdressers' cars. I don't think so. I think it looks cool. These wheels I think work well. I'd probably like to black those out. Look at these exhaust pipes. These are massive. Can we get our fist fully in there? Oh, we can. That does look pretty cool. This colour is so bright. This car, in fact, has ceramic brakes on the front. That is roughly a £4,000 option. For me, what looks so good is this car from this angle. Look at that. That looks so good with this silver going down the front as well. It's just got such an aggressive front look to it, doesn't it? So we're inside, and the first thing you notice is that you don't have much space in the back at all. That's one thing we need to take into account, but all of this is just so nice. The Alcantara wheel. Jumped in it straight away and I saw the engine start stop button, and that is so cool because the RS3s etc don't have this. They have it sort of down there, the sort of start button, and I love it how it's exactly the same as the R8. Maybe it's too similar. This is basically an R8 wheel. It's spacious in here, but the actual car feels quite small. Does that make sense? I don't think that made sense, did it? Let's fire it up. You get the pops and the bangs. This Alcantara wheel, I keep touching it because I'm just like, oh, it feels so good and so new, because this car has done, let's find out how many miles it's done. It's done 2,912, so it hasn't done a lot. So it is finally time to drive the TT RS. What is quite nice is that I can enjoy it and get a real feel to whether I could see myself buying something like this, because sometimes, as many of you are aware, you go for a test drive, you take it for half an hour to an hour if you're lucky, and then you have to make a decision there and then, and that's the maximum time that you get to drive with that car. But I'm in the fortunate position where this has been given to me for a week, so I can sort of wake up in the morning, go down, start it up, drive around, and I feel that is when you really know whether you could own something like this, because this car isn't cheap, and it wouldn't be a cheap investment, because fully specced out, I've got the spec sheet and I'll go through the spec sheet a little bit later in this video. It costs £62,000 to £63,000. Considering I own an R8, I actually own a pink R8. We'll get more onto that a little bit later. Could this be the car to go alongside it? Everything very familiar, etc. It could be quite nice. Only downside is that it pretty much is a two-seater. You do have back seats, but there's not much room there. So, do I need more than 2 seats? Maybe, maybe not. Something is my new daily. I really want to tone it down a bit, because I have the R8 and the Quicksilver exhaust net, and it's just so loud. But my daily, I don't really want just to be droning noises and things like that. I want it to be nice and calm. So the first car I've driven on my hunt for my new daily was the BMW M2. I loved it, and I tell you what, I drove that car for 20 minutes-ish. We got out, we had some lunch, I jumped back in, and it all started to make much more sense to me, that car. So what would be better, a TT RS or an M2? Totally different cars. The M2 being rear-wheel drive, in the damp conditions, probably wouldn't be as favourable, but more fun. Or you go the total opposite way and you live with 2 4-wheel drive cars. When you do put this car into dynamic mode, where the drive select button is, this is cool because I don't even know, oh, it's on the wheel. Oh, nice. It's exactly the same as the R8. How I didn't even know that. Great. It is so quick. This car is rapid. Can't see much difference. Acceleration to the R8 makes a really nice noise. I'm just going third to fourth all the time. Third, fourth. I've just pulled over because just have a chat to you guys really, because it is just so much fun. That car is just such a little pocket rocket, it really is. It ticks so many boxes. I could see myself driving it every day, honestly. It's even got dirty and I don't even mind. It's just fun, And on country roads, etc., you just get a proper feel for the whole thing. The more you drive it, the more it makes total sense. And when you get your foot down, it just grips. It might even have too much grip. That is the thing. But as always, I like to tell you guys the spec and what it's got on it. Quickly get my phone out because Audi have sent me the spec sheet, and then I can tell you the exact spec on what it has and all the extras and the total price as well. I have the spec sheet. Let's go through what it has. So it's Vegas yellow. The Vegas yellow is actually £550 to have that colour. RS Sport exhaust system, similar to the RS3, etc. This is £1,000. We also have RS Sport suspension with magnetic ride. This is £1,000. Ceramic brakes, £4,695. So that is very big. Do you need ceramic brakes driving every single day? Probably not. The electric adjustable front seats, they're £800. Matrix LED rear lights, £800. The price of this car on the road is £62,815. So it's not cheap. It's basically a 63 grand car right there. That's quite a lot of money. That's something I need to think about. If I'm going to be spending that, I need to know it is the right car, and a car that I'll be driving for a fair few months. What I want to do is see what this is like handling wise, and it's raining pretty hard now. The rain has started to come down. That's around the corner. Freaking hell. It is glued to the road. And at that point back then, imagine if I was in the M2, I would have been sliding around and everything else, trying to sort of keep it on all four wheels and not on my roof. So it is amazing how this car, when you get your foot down, it's properly raining now as well, and it just it is unbelievable. It is unbelievable that you could do that and get away with it. Have the whole wheel turned, boot it, guarantee you it's not going to do anything. And is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? In weather like this, it's 100% a good thing. But this isn't even in the dry. This is in the wet. And the RS3 has exactly the same thing. They just are glued to the ground. So sometimes people want more of a driving experience. So what would you rather prefer? Let me know in the comment section. Would you rather sort of a driving experience, or would you rather something that is just never going to break away from you unless you really put effort into it and wanted that to happen? So I'm now back after driving the TT RS. This car is just so much fun, it really is. I'm absolutely loving it, and I can't wait for the next week to really see what it's going to be like to live with this car, and if it could be the next daily driver on my channel. It's going to be very exciting to see what car that will be. And if you want it to be this, just let me know. Or if you want it to be something else, also let me know. Could it be something like a BMW M2 or other things? Just put them down in the comment section down below. There are a lot of ideas floating around in my head, and I want to get this sorted ASAP. I'm hoping in the next week I will know what this car will be. Do I love this car enough to buy one? 100% yes. 2 4-wheel drive cars, I just need to see how it all stacks up, but we will see what you guys say in the comments as well, and that could determine a lot on my decision on what my new car is going to be. So as always guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave those comments down below, and I'll see you all very soon.